Silent in the trees. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Faith and Fandom Feedback Friday. Hector here, bringing you a little bit of news as we're wrapping up the month of June. Hope you're doing well. Hope things are going good on your end. And yeah, just jumping in. Sorry for being late. This might be too late for Tristan, who's I need your review on Suicide Squad Isekai. I haven't watched that yet. I mean to. We're gonna talk about that. I know you can't see by the clutter of chaos behind me in the video, but I spent like till 3 a.m. cleaning my desk area and my space in this general bubble last night because I hadn't really had a chance to for like 3 weeks because I've been on the road. So that took some time to kind of get life together. But yeah. Um Hope you're doing well. Let's jump in it. Uh the we mentioned last week, I believe. Yes, we have a Tristan. Yeah, let me know how the Suicide Squad Isekai is, man. It looked fun from what I saw. Uh I mentioned last week that Amazon Prime had cast the dude from Midnight Mass as Batman and Christina Ricci as Catwoman for their upcoming animated Batman series. Um, I don't know what role she's cast in, but I saw that in the official trailer, McKenna Grace, who is the young lady who has played Phoebe in the Ghostbusters movies, the last two Ghostbusters movies, is also in the show. So that should be kind of fun and interesting. My money's on Barbara Gordon, um, but who knows? Uh, yeah. And I may have mentioned this. I think I did, but either way, we're rolling with it. Uh, Patrick Dempsey, aka McSteamy, or as we all know him from his pivotal role in Meatballs 2 from the 80s, um, is also going to be in Dexter Original Sin. That's coming up. I mentioned the Megan thing. Da, 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 da. Yeah. Taylor Swift's going to pop in here several times just for news because Taylor had a big news week. Um, Prince William and Prince George and Princess Charlotte all met with Taylor Swift backstage after a London show this week and had some great times with the royal family. And they were pretty excited. And I just think it's funny that um, royalty still wants celebrity photos. And, it's kind of a fun thing. We don't deal with royalty here. That's the closest thing we have to royalty is like nothing. We have nothing close to royalty. Um, And so I just need to see, but they had a good experience. If you check any of that out, I'm going to just try and go ahead and jump ahead to all the Taylor stuff, put it in one little bubble. Good. Suicide Squad is fun. I heard Amanda Waller has a dance party in the exiting video, which is something we all need in life. Um, but yeah, on some other Taylor Swift news, there has been backlash because and I I don't like being negative, and I'm not a big fan of negative attention because I feel like negative attention stems from insecurity. And I personally believe Foo Fighters are one of the greatest rock bands of my lifetime. And but Dave Grohl in a recent concert went on to troll Taylor Swift stating that you know a couple times. And you know that thing you do when somebody makes a joke and it doesn't get enough laughs, so they say it again. So that's how it went down as Dave tried to make insinuations and jokes about Taylor not playing her music live. Um, and in her Errors tour, and she said, well, we play all of our stuff, which is full of errors, so we're going to call it the Errors tour. Which, by the way, hot sauce, I had that coined and copyrighted before you said it, sir. Book 9, the Errors tour. I did that, Mr. Grohl. You'll hear from my fictional lawyer because I don't have one. But he made that insinuation, and so Taylor opened her next show by stating, which if you've watched the Eras tour, there's a live band playing the whole night through every song, and that she does play guitar as she dances and sings through several other songs. But um her just as an inaccurate statement that there isn't a live band performing. And so she made the statement as she opened her London show. And yes, my band will be performing live for you, just you tonight, London, for the next 3.5 hours, because we always play our own music. And so it was a little petty on Grohl's part. I feel like Taylor handled her rebuttal pretty well, but it was just like it felt gross and kind of pandering to watch Grohl's video. If you're a Taylor fan or not, there's just no reason to try and elevate yourself by tearing others down. And that's not a good look. Because in that case, is someone getting the best of you? There goes my hero. Not kidding, just kidding. I still love the Foo Fighters. Um, but and then also in Taylor news, so I can just shuffle all this out at once. Uh, Travis Kelce made his debut on stage performing with Taylor as one of the actors slash dancers for one of her songs, and it was sweet and cute. Um, that's it. Okay, good. Now I'm done with Taylor Swift news, I think, so I can jump on. If you are a fan of the Shrek world, you are going to get a hearty dose coming soon. Eddie Murphy, in a recent interview, stated that Shrek 5 is done and will be dropping in 2025. Whether you wanted it, needed it, or were waiting for it, Shrek 5 is done and will be dropping in 2025. According to Eddie Murphy in an interview. He also stated that we are finally getting a solo donkey movie, and that's coming soon, and that if you've been waiting for that. Murphy was initially, a few years back, kind of frustrated that Antonio Banderas was getting several Puss in Boots movies and Donkey had yet to get one, but it's coming. Uh, the WWE signed a deal this week that is first of its kind in terms of uh location uh benefits. The Indiana Sports Cup will be hosting three of the WWE's largest events: WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Royal Rumble. Um, and they were able to make it a mutually financially exclusive deal. It will limit space of where people can go see these events, but the reality is these folks are touring 300 days a year anyway. So if you want to go see them, you're going to have a chance to see them. But they put three of their biggest events in the same spot because they could make it financially beneficial for everyone. So that's happening. Um, and also, and just keep this all as concise as I can, in WWE news, Rhea Ripley got married last Sunday, the 23rd of June. Um, she married her husband, who is a AEW wrestler. And yeah, she posted it on her Instagram. Um, just the photo of them kissing at their wedding with a background that says, or with the caption that says "till death." So, uh, that's always a weird thing when they're doing storylines in wrestling that involve romances that that nobody is actually involved in. Because, like, if you're currently watching any of this stuff, Dominic Mysterio, the whole thing, Dominic's married, and Rhea just got married, and they're still going to play the little jealousy card and everything when they get back. And that's cool. I get it. It's fiction. You just have to remind yourself it's fiction and that you're not doing internet detective work. Just enjoy the circus as we go on. Um, the Bob Odenkirk John Wick style thriller action adventure Nobody is getting a sequel and will apparently drop in theaters August 15th. Now, they have a release date, but as of yet, to my knowledge, they have not gotten a director. But they are still planning to drop the movie August 15th, and that is on the cards. In a horror movie thriller, I didn't expect to have on my bingo card for the year. Um, there's a horror movie, suspense thriller movie called Heretic, in which two young missionaries are going door to door, sharing the gospel, and are then captured and tortured by Hugh Grant, who is a creeper in this trailer. What's up, Joshua? Um, and Hugh Grant kidnaps two door to door evangelists, young ladies, and then puts them through twisted religious torture, as Nerdist described it. So, um, it's a weird take. It definitely is something that's easily plausible, and I don't think we've seen something on the scale since Kevin Smith's movie Red State, which this would be the inverse of Red State. Um, but yeah, this is a thing. Heretic, Hugh Grant kidnapping and torturing missionaries. DC's Green Lantern series will run 8 episodes, and it has officially been picked up as an HBO series and will be effectively, as they're describing it, a cross between True Detective and Green Lantern. The biggest thing for me is that the show is being co-written slash directed, produced by Tom King, which is one of my favorite writers of all time, and consistently stays one of my favorite writers. He's, not done everything's gold, but he's consistently one of my favorite writers. And he is going to be helping produce this Green Lantern show and make it amazing. So, Green Lantern will be dropping on HBO as a series. It will also feature Chris Mundy, who did as the showrunner. He's the dude who did True Detective Night Country and Ozark. Damon Lindelof, who did Lost, The Watchmen, The Leftovers, and yeah, and Tom King will executive produce and co-write it. I'm just saying, if you give Tom King full control of a Green Lantern series, I think we're in for some good stuff. And if this manages to stay within the DCU proper, that means we'll also get Guy Gardner with Nathan Fillion. And that being said, would play in perfectly to Human Target uh, as their storyline progresses. So there's that. Eminem has rejoined the world of Fortnite as a playable character in his rap boy persona with Houdini vibes, where he does magic tricks. So, playing off his recent single that will go into the Death of Slim Shady album, Eminem is rejoined the world of Fortnite dressed like Robin, if you don't know what Rat Boy is. In casting news, One Piece has been swinging real hard this week. Um, they cast four of the Baroque Works agents, including the dude who is going to play number three in the One Piece world. Um, and I never know his right name to call him, but he's the dude who played Polka Dot Man in Suicide Squad and was the fake Joker in The Dark Knight. Um, Also, he's one of the dudes in Ant-Man. But either way, you'll get who I'm talking about. He just did Late Night with the Devil, maybe. Um, and they've also cast Smoker, Tashigi, Dalton, and and Wapple. So they are setting up the Drum Island arc pretty heavily in terms of getting ready for One Piece. So that is going to be coming up, and Netflix is swinging pretty hard with that. The Office spinoff, starring Domhnall Gleeson, um, is officially got his title. The Office spinoff will officially be called The Paper. I think that's been said before, but that's officially what it's going to be labeled and titled as. Do do do. Uh, life is really hard for you when your own DJ turns on you at an event. At a recent concert, um, Drake was on stage performing, and Drake's own DJ started playing Kendrick Lamar's diss track towards Drake, "Not Like Us." So while Drake was on stage performing, his own DJ started playing a diss track towards him. And there's video footage of Drake reacting to that, which is pretty gnarly. Yeah. If you aren't aware, there is an upcoming Harry Potter TV series where they're going to go through all the books front to back and make it a probably 7 season long deal where each book gets a season. Um, and the people that are going to be behind it now are pretty interesting choices. Not surprising, but interesting. Um, Francesca Gardner, who did The Man in High Castle, The Rook, His Dark Materials, and Succession, will be the showrunners. And Mark Mylod, who did Game of Thrones, Entourage, Shameless, and also Succession, will be directing. So you're literally getting Succession vibes from Harry Potter, and that's going to be an interesting thing. They're great directors and showrunners, but not who I would have picked. And the His Dark Materials, I don't know if it's the best track record because when that show didn't even finish as it stands, and it might be a while before it does. David Harbour has officially announced on his Instagram that he has done filming his part for Thunderbolts, and he loved it, and he did some celebration with that. But Thunderbolts is officially done wrapping for his part. The first 3 episodes of Suicide Squad Isekai is out on Hulu and Max now. If you want to check that out, that is a full anime of Suicide Squad. Uh, Lots of stuff going on there. I haven't fully watched it yet. I've just seen a clip of Amanda Waller dancing as the show outro. And Tristan's watched some of it. So I'm planning to check that out. I don't know if it's going to be today because today's busy, but I'm planning to check that out. Uh, if you are familiar with Bob's Burgers, you know that for a long portion of the series, there was a titular foil character named Jimmy Pesto. Jimmy Pesto's role has been written out of the series because the voice actor for Jimmy Pesto was part of the January 6th storming of the Capitol. Um, and he is pleading guilty to his role in that. And so that is happening this week is that he's pled guilty to that role. A church, and I use the term loosely, um, end times or church of the end times. Yes, Church of the End Times, or as they call it, End Times. A This is the church in Mexico, and this church has been selling plots of land in heaven, air quotes, because the pastor of this church said that God gave him permission to. And he has been selling plots of land in heaven to people for $100 per square meter. This has been picked up and ran with by several news sites and everything else, but that's literally a thing is that this church is now selling plots of land in heaven for $100 a meter. And oh, people, people. Um, yeah, I'm not even gonna. There's lots to say there, but I'm not going to. But don't do that. That's a bad look for everyone. It's also horribly theologically. Um, Derek s- Derek Benson says mine was bought already. Alicia Glenn says, "How do you get a realtor's license for heaven?" I don't know, bro. Like, can you imagine? Also, I know what I'm about to say is not correct theology, but could you imagine like strolling up there and just seeing like realtor signs and for sale signs or for sale by owner in heaven? Why people? Why? Um, but yeah, that's happening. He says that he spoke to God in 2017 and God gave him permission to do it, and it's taken him till now to get it going. But yeah, they're selling plots of land. The internet has been abuzz with memes of a young lady named Haley Welch, who was made famous from TikTok real quick for as she's become known as the Hawk Tuah girl. And I had a conversation with a friend yesterday that um Tristan says the look on my wife's face when she heard that. Yeah, that's just bonkers, dude. Um, but I had a friend. I was having a discussion with a friend yesterday. And it's like, okay, y'all, when I make memes, I don't just like casually make memes that often. Like, I'll have an idea, and I'll like in my mind sketch it out, or I'll even do a rough draft on my phone and I'll think about it for a while and I'll debate over which scripture should go with it. And I'll let stuff sit for 2 or 3 days usually before I make one. Um, and I've literally been like marinating on this idea, which I'm not going to do it. Y'all will be the only ones that hear this. Um, but like I really wanted to do the story of Jesus spitting in the mud to heal that man's blindness and like rubbing it in his eye. And I wanted to make a Hawk Tuah meme with that. Um, but either way, I'm not going to do it. But that has just been like, man, I really want to, but I know I'm not going to, just for general sake of smart life choices. Um, but the Hawk Tuah girl, Haley Welch, has been off of social media and in virtual hiding since she blew up. But she's already cashed in on the thing. She made a partnership with a deal with a company in Tennessee um that does hats. John, I can neither confirm, deny, or endorse that statement. John asked if he could make the meme for me. Because I wouldn't share it if I made it, bro. I just can't. I just like the idea. It's just one of those things I'll just casually giggle about. Well, it's because like the rapper Plato slash Crumb did a whole album called Dirt Spit Mud and had a whole song called or a whole pre-mix tape of it called Spat. Just Dirt Spit Mud. So I'm a big fan of that story anyway. So literally that was my first thought with it. Um, but the young lady has made a partnership with a clothing line in Tennessee and where she made hats. There's a Tennessee hat company in her hometown, and she has already made $65,000 in 1 week's time just in licensed hat sales of Hawk Tuah that say like Hawk Tuah 2024, like presidential slogans and stuff. So this company and her partnered together, and she's already profited $64,000 because of a meme taking off. To my understanding, the most successful thing I've ever done has been a meme. Now, I've screen wrote for things that have gotten up to 5 to 12 million views. My most successful thing I've ever made was a stupid meme back when they were doing the bad and bougie thing of raindrop drop top, that whole thing where they were doing memes of that. And I made a meme that said raindrop drop top, oh George, not the livestock from Oh Brother Art Thou. That um alone, I believe, got 87,000 shares, plus all the likes, plus all the comments and stuff. That was my most successful thing. I was like, that's what I should have capitalized on. I should have made hats. I should have done something else. But yeah, this young lady has uh become moderately famous for this and has already profited, and she's already cost people their jobs. Um, the dude who was in charge of the NASCAR social media, who was also a tire guy, for one of the companies. He was a tire guy for JD Motorsports. Uh, the guy who is in charge of their social media has been relieved of his social media duties because he made a hawk to a meme. And they had to release a public statement saying we're fans of memes and good clean humor, but some things are too far. And so the dude made a hawk to a meme for NASCAR and lost his job. He's still a tire guy for JD Motorsports, but he no longer gets to put things on the internet. And so that's why I'm not making that meme. Um, but yeah, two astronauts are currently stranded in space after the Boeing Starliner um had technical problems. And it looks like they're going to be stuck in space for a solid month. And that's a nightmare. That's that's something scary I wouldn't want to go through. But yeah, uh two astronauts are stuck in space for a whole month waiting for a ride. This is when Superman would be really helpful. Um, if to have that. In scary, we're about to enter into the Matrix slash Terminator slash sci-fi news. An interesting proposal is being floated by a company called Cognify, which has, from just the proposal of what they're planning so far, uh welcome to part two, unless I get taken down again. Um, I'm not even kidding. Like in that little time, my whole Zoom software restarted and reset and changed its settings and everything else. It was a lot. Okay. So I'm gonna give this just a second for people to jump back on if you care to. Um, for y'all that are on podcast, hopefully I did a decent enough job. You didn't know there was just chaos, but like I started talking about robots and my whole stream got shut down because that's how it went. All right, we're back. We're gonna keep going because I've got stuff to do. And I can't keep sitting here. Um, so back to what I was saying when I got kicked out. Uh, there is now a new discussion on the table for how uh computer is going to play into uh stuff with prisoners and people with Alzheimer's and dementia. There is a company called Cognify that is proposing that rather than prisoners spend extensive times in prison sentences, taking government money, taxpayer dollars, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that instead they be implanted with the memories of their victims. Meaning that if you took someone's life, you would be implanted with the memories and the pain of all the people you hurt or the immediate family or stuff like that. If you committed an assault, you would feel the feelings and memories of those you assaulted. Um, and they feel like that by doing this, they can rehabilitate people and condition them better, faster, and more effectively than if they just put them in a prison cell. They also believe that by doing so, that they can help rehabilitate people in a criminal sense, but for those who are struggling with Alzheimer's and dementia, that they can actually give their family members back memories that they've lost. So that's a weird concept, but also not foreign. It definitely feels like it could be Black Mirror or Doctor Who or anything else, but it's real. Um, the company Nvidia, which is one of the biggest companies in the world, lost $550 billion in 3 days. Um, uh, which took them from $3.5 trillion in value to $2.9 trillion in value. So they lost $550 billion and still managed to maintain what their company is and what they do, which is just pretty gnarly. Um, there was an violent attack of a gunman in Russia. 20 people have died as a gunman stormed religious sites and a police checkpoint in a terrorist attack in Russia. So the terrorist intentionally went after religious sites in Russia and shot there, and not equivocal news at all. Um, Rosario Dawson has joined the cast of the upcoming, again, talking about robots, Terminator um animated series that is going to be broadcast on Netflix. So you've got Timothy Oliphant and Rosario Dawson um, in the upcoming animated series. So yeah, you know what? And that's my news. I didn't have a lot left, but they swept the rug out from under me at the last minute. A couple things I did want to share with you. One, if you're watching, look at my pretty statue. My friend Zach hooked me up with this from North Dakota. It's the Bat family. It's pretty cool. One thing that is neat is I am an advanced reader slash on the promo team for the upcoming book, The House That Jesus Built. Um, Last year, one of my favorite books that I read was a book called Raised to Stay, which kind of dealt with church hurt, being frustrated when the church was being what it's not supposed to be. And Natalie is come up with her sequel follow-up book, The House That Jesus Built, uh, about getting the church back to what the Bible calls it to be. It's something I feel very passionate about. I wrote a whole book about it myself called Flocked Up. um, Sheep Still Gone Astray. I don't really push that one a lot, but I wrote it and I stand by it and it's good. Um, I am just getting started on this, and hopefully going to be reading and sharing some more with it soon. But yeah, I've got an advanced copy, so I'll get to share some stuff before it comes out, and that's pretty neat. Um, in terms of news announcements, last year I did a mini con at my church, and it turned out pretty well, in my opinion. And we have announced that this week that we are going to be bringing that mini con back. It will be on Saturday, September 7th, and it will be free admission. It will also be free for all the vendors and artists to set up. And so we want to make that as functional and viable as possible. So if you are a vendor and artist and stuff like that, I'm going to have applications going out on Monday. Um, Patreon supporters, I want to take a moment to thank you. Um, and also to say that your stuff is going out today. Um, Y'all have been so patient with me. I've got stickers and books and things going out to my Patreon supporters that have been waiting. But I want to take a moment to thank David Brooks, Jeff Weimer, Colin Sproles, Jamie Montgomery, the Coleman family, Jonathan Herman, Ron Petit, Gear Saber Cosplay, Scott Ward, Alicia Glenn, Candace Davis, Jay Sheed, Jason Crutchfield, congratulations on your wedding. Mike Perna, Todd Turner, John Jacobs, Zach Harris, Caleb Grimm, Jeanette Skaggs, Jason Bullock, Christina Ray, Sarah Lewis, Patrick Gale, Rebecca Godlove, and Adam Davis. Thank y'all for being amazing. And I will have Patreon stuff going out to y'all real soon. But yeah, that's it. I'm now. The internet tried to fight me back, but I'm looking forward to being at some cons soon. I've got 1 month till GalaxyCon. I've been doing a lot of camps and things like that. I also had a really good response and time with the folks in Tennessee or in Alabama on Friday, dealing with just parents' response to the books, and I got some encouraging notes and letters and things like that. So it's just been really great. Updated merch for the shows, reordered stickers. Gonna have a new variant of the God is a Fan of You sticker, which will probably premiere exclusively at GalaxyCon. Um, and will be pretty neat. And yeah, there'll be some new stuff that you've never seen before from Faith and Fandom at GalaxyCon. So that'll be fun. But I hope y'all have a great day. Thank you for taking time to listen. When this gets in audio and video format, I'm going to try and make sure it's chopped back together. But I appreciate y'all and hope you have a great day. And I'm going to try and uh hang this up. And no, my computer is definitely not holding me hostage. Blinks twice for help.